Men over 50. Picture this. You roll out of bed in the morning, and your legs feel a little heavier than they did a few years ago. There's a stiffness in your knees that wasn't there in your 40s. The coffee kicks in, but by 10 o'clock that quiet fatigue is already settling in your shoulders and the back of your neck. A walk around the block, tossing the ball with the grandkids, or even a simple trip to the grocery store leaves you more wiped out than it should. Sleep happens, 7, 8, sometimes even 9 hours. Yet you still wake up feeling like your body never fully recharged overnight. You push through because that's what men do. But deep down, something feels off, and you know it. Most men brush it off as just getting older. They tell themselves this is the deal now, that the body they had in their 40s is simply gone, and they need to accept whatever comes next. But here's what many don't realize. There's a specific nutrient gap that quietly widens after 50, and it's making these everyday drags feel normal when they absolutely don't have to. The frustrating part is that most men are never told about it clearly. It slips through the cracks between routine checkups and generic advice about eating better and exercising more. Advice that doesn't actually tell you what to do or why it matters right now, at this stage of your life. What if the fix was simpler than you think? Just one food added to your plate twice a week that can meaningfully support the way your body handles energy, recovery, circulation, and daily physical comfort. Stick with me, because once you see the science and how easy it is to apply, you'll understand why so many men are quietly making this one change and genuinely feeling the difference within weeks. Hi, I'm Dr. Hannah Blake. I've spent years working with men in their 50s, 60s, and beyond, men dealing with low energy, slower recovery, hormonal shifts, and the frustration of feeling like their body is quietly working against them. I give straight answers grounded in real research, not trends or hype. My goal in every video is to hand you something practical and evidence-backed that you can actually use starting this week. So let's get into it. At this stage of life, the changes can feel subtle but persistent, and that's exactly what makes them so frustrating. You wake up tired even after a full night of sleep. Recovery from yard work, a round of golf, or a long drive takes noticeably longer than it used to. Your waistline feels a little thicker even though your eating habits haven't changed much. Stamina dips during activities you used to handle without a second thought. Motivation sometimes lags even when your mind is still sharp and your desire to stay active is completely there. Your joints feel stiffer in the mornings, not painful enough to stop you, but enough to slow you down for the first hour of the day. It's that frustrating gap where you genuinely want to stay active, stay engaged with your family, and keep showing up for the life you've built. But your body seems to be holding you back just enough to notice, just enough to make you hesitate before saying yes to things you used to enjoy without thinking twice. These aren't sudden collapses. They're slow, quiet shifts that sneak up over months and years, leaving many men wondering if this is simply how it goes from here and whether there's anything left to do about it. So why does this happen more after 50? Let's keep it straightforward. As the body gets older, a few important internal processes shift in ways that compound on each other. Inflammation can slowly build in the background, not the kind that flares up dramatically when you cut your finger, but a low-grade silent inflammation that quietly affects your muscles, joints, blood vessels, and brain. Think of it like rust forming inside pipes over time, gradually slowing the flow without any single dramatic moment of failure. Blood vessels also lose a bit of their youthful flexibility, meaning circulation isn't quite as efficient as it once was. Like a highway that used to move smoothly but now has a few persistent slowdowns during rush hour, reducing how well oxygen and nutrients reach your muscles and organs. At the same time, most men's diets provide fewer of the long-chain omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA, that the body relies on for cell repair, anti-inflammatory signaling, and maintaining the flexibility of cell membranes throughout the body. These omega-3s play a role that most men dramatically underestimate. They help keep cell membranes supple and responsive, calm the kind of everyday inflammation that builds quietly over decades, support healthy blood flow to muscles, joints, and the brain, and assist in the hormonal and metabolic signaling that affects how you feel from morning to evening. Many men assume this is purely a testosterone story, that declining energy and slower recovery are all about hormones. And while hormones play a role, research consistently shows that chronic low intake of omega-3 fatty acids contributes significantly to the physical drags men experience in their 50s and beyond. When we ignore this gap, those small daily struggles compound: more fatigue, slower recovery after physical activity, stiffer joints, and a body that feels like it's working harder than it needs to just to get through a normal day. The good news, and this is the part one want you to really hear, is that there's a practical, research-supported step that fits easily into real, everyday life without a major overhaul of how you eat or how you spend your time. Eat fatty fish twice a week. Think salmon, mackerel, sardines, or herring. A serving is about 3 to 4 ounces, roughly the size of your palm. These fish are naturally rich in EPA and DHA, the specific omega-3 fatty acids that multiple large studies link to meaningfully lower everyday inflammation, better circulatory support, improved muscle recovery, and steadier cardiovascular health in men over 50. The research isn't fringe or preliminary. This is one of the most consistently supported dietary recommendations in the literature on aging and men's health. How do you make it simple and sustainable? Bake or grill a fillet with a little olive oil, fresh lemon, garlic, and herbs like rosemary or thyme, and you have a complete meal in under 20 minutes. Or open a can of wild-caught sardines and mix them into a green salad with olive oil, cherry tomatoes, and a squeeze of lemon. No cooking, no prep, done in 5 minutes. Many men find that anchoring the habit to 2 specific days works better than leaving it vague. Tuesday and Friday work well because it naturally spreads the benefit across the week rather than concentrating it in 1 or 2 consecutive days. Prep a slightly larger piece on Tuesday, and you have leftovers for lunch on Wednesday. Small systems like this are what make healthy habits stick without requiring willpower every single time. One important distinction: the whole food form matters. Supplements can be useful in certain situations, but eating actual fatty fish delivers omega-3s alongside a broader package of nutrients: high-quality protein, selenium, vitamin D, vitamin B12, and other compounds that work together in ways a capsule simply cannot fully replicate. The food matrix matters. When possible, go for the real thing. Quick question: let me know in the comments where you're watching this from. I love seeing how many men around the world are making smart, steady moves for their health. It genuinely helps me know what to cover next. Most men get this wrong in one of 2 ways, and both are completely understandable. The first mistake is skipping fish altogether, because it seems too strong tasting, too unfamiliar to cook, or because they tried it once years ago and didn't enjoy it. The second mistake is relying only on fish oil supplements and assuming that covers the bases, missing the broader nutritional package that comes with eating the actual food. Both approaches leave a real gap that adds up over time. One man I worked with in his early 60s had convinced himself he simply wasn't a fish person. After some encouragement, he started with simple baked salmon, lightly seasoned with olive oil, lemon, and garlic, paired with roasted vegetables he already liked. He did it twice a week, consistently, without changing much else. 2 months in, he told me his evening energy had improved noticeably. He wasn't running out of steam right after dinner the way he used to. His morning stiffness had eased. His daily walks felt lighter, nothing dramatic overnight, but a steady, noticeable lift that made his days feel meaningfully better. That's exactly how this works. It's not a flash. It's a quiet, cumulative shift in how your body functions day to day. Have you felt these shifts in energy or recovery yourself lately? Drop a comment and let me know which habit has been the toughest to adjust. I read every single one, and your responses shape what I cover in future videos. Let me tell you about Mark. He's 55, lives just outside Atlanta, and spent his career in sales. A couple of years ago, he was waking up exhausted, despite sleeping reasonably well. His knees complained after mowing the lawn. His lower back stiffened up on long drives. He was turning down weekend hikes with his wife because he knew the recovery would wipe out the rest of his weekend, and that trade-off no longer felt worth it. He felt frustrated, a little defeated, and honestly a little embarrassed, because in his mind he wasn't old, but his body seemed to disagree. He didn't want to surrender to it, but he also didn't know exactly what to change. Then he made one focused, specific adjustment: grilled salmon twice a week, added to the dinners he was already cooking. Nothing fancy, seasoned simply, baked in the oven alongside whatever vegetables he already had on hand. He stayed consistent. He didn't overhaul his entire diet or start an intense workout program. He just added this one thing and kept showing up with it week after week. Over the following months, things started to shift. He was sleeping more soundly, and waking up feeling more rested. His joints felt less stiff in the mornings, especially his knees. He had more energy through the afternoon. That midday wall he used to hit started arriving later and hitting softer. He found he could keep up with his grandkids on weekend afternoons without dreading how he'd feel the next morning. His wife noticed he was more willing to say yes to things. It wasn't a miracle, and it didn't happen overnight. But those steady, compounding improvements gave Mark back a quiet confidence, the sense that his body could still handle the life he wanted to live, and that he had some real influence over how he felt day to day. Now let's go one layer deeper, because the real power comes when this habit works alongside the rest of your daily choices, rather than sitting in isolation. Chronic stress quietly raises inflammation throughout the body, which works directly against what the omega-3s are trying to do. Even 10 minutes of calm breathing, a short evening walk, or simply stepping away from screens for a while helps your body make better use of those healthy fats. Think of it as removing friction from the system. Quality sleep is another essential partner in this equation. When you sleep well and consistently, your body conducts more efficient repair, and hormonal balance stays steadier, both of which amplify the benefits of an improved diet. If sleep is a struggle, that's worth addressing on its own, because no single food can fully compensate for chronic poor rest. A common myth worth clearing up. Any fish will do. It won't. Only the fatty cold water varieties deliver meaningful amounts of EPA and DHA. Lean white fish like tilapia, cod, or flounder are fine foods, but they don't provide the same anti-inflammatory support. Salmon, mackerel, sardines, anchovies, and herring are your primary targets. One important caution: if you have a diagnosed seafood allergy, or you're currently taking blood-thinning medication like warfarin, speak with your doctor before making significant dietary changes. Results vary between individuals, and professional guidance matters. This video is information, not a substitute for personalized medical advice. Here's something most men never hear, and I think it's one of the most useful pieces of the puzzle. Omega-3s from fatty fish work, especially well when paired with colorful vegetables and quality olive oil. The antioxidants found in spinach, broccoli, berries, and bell peppers help protect those healthy fats from oxidation inside your body, allowing them to function longer and more effectively. A simple plate of baked salmon with roasted broccoli and a drizzle of good olive oil is not just convenient, it's actually a well-designed system where the components support each other. This is why whole food approaches tend to outperform isolated supplements in research settings. It's not about one magic ingredient. It's about building a simple, repeatable system where good choices work together day after day. And remember, consistency beats perfection every time. Missing a week occasionally won't erase your progress. What matters is coming back to the habit reliably, week after week, month after month. That's where the real cumulative benefit lives. So let's pull it all together. Eat fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, sardines, twice a week, every week, to give your body the EPA and DHA it increasingly needs after 50. Support that habit with daily movement that feels good for your body, solid and consistent sleep, and whatever helps you manage stress in a sustainable way. Pair your fish with colorful vegetables and olive oil to help those omega-3s do their job more effectively. Build small systems that make the habit automatic rather than relying on motivation every time. Your age doesn't decide your health, your consistent daily habits do. These small, repeatable choices can help quiet that background inflammation that builds silently after 50, support steadier and more lasting energy throughout the day, speed up recovery so you can say yes more often, and help you show up for the people and activities that matter most to you with more comfort, more confidence, and more capacity than you might have right now. It's not about reversing time or pretending the body doesn't change. It's about understanding what your body needs at this specific stage and giving it that consistently, practically, without making your life complicated. That's how you make the years ahead feel better in ways that are real, noticeable, and lasting. If this resonated with you, a thumbs up and a subscribe would mean a lot. It helps this content reach more men who need to hear it. Drop a comment with any questions or let me know which part connected with you most. We're building something real here. A community of men over 50 who are taking smart, steady steps toward feeling better and living with more energy and confidence. In my next video, I'll walk you through the 4 silent signs your blood flow is getting weaker after 60. No equipment, no complicated protocols. Just a few small habits that make a genuine difference. Thanks for watching, and take good care of yourself out there.